What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, well, we are on the final day of our Star Expedition, currently ranked as 9th place. Now, getting up to 8th, I don't know if it's going to be possible, if it's going to be very possible. I think there's a couple of us that still have to hit, and the boss is at 63%, so we will fall into the sub 60% range in this round at some point. Now, we're going to do something interesting just to try it out. If it doesn't work out good in one attempt, at least we did the science part of it. So we're going to try running Heartwatcher in this setup. There's one really big issue why Heartwatcher's never really used, and that's survivability. Because as you guys know, you cannot put Stellar Shards on a Heartwatcher. She's too old of a hero. They just have not gotten to that point yet. But if we can somehow get her to live through that first round, and then Fairy Queen Vesta can use her active to get those shields going, I feel like we're going to be in a good spot. Because, of course, the difference here is the shrink, which lowers the damage incoming to your team by 50%, and then also ups the damage by 30%. The difference here is that this mark is going to stack up to 300% additional damage, and she still has like some sort of survivability to the team with a 25% attack reduction for 2 rounds. So that'll be pretty much 50% attack damage all the time. We're going to run a candy bar on her as well. The big question, though, is if we can get her to survive that very first round, because that's going to be one of the most important parts. I think we have everything else set up the way we want to. She is going to go dead last. Fingers crossed this goes okay. We're going to watch this in 1x speed right here as well, just to see. Okay, so round 1. Let's see how this damage happens here. Okay, she's already way down there. We basically need to get this shield off as soon as possible here. We get healing onto her, right? And a shield. We're going to have shields coming from, like, here as well. She's dead. Yeah, and that's kind of the big reason why she's not used. Because I've had a lot of people bring it up. I'm like, you know, I guess we could try. The only other option would be not running her with a candy bar and running her with damage reduction, but at that point it's like chances are she's going to be silenced and horrified every single round after the first couple attacks go off, and if that happens, then you're just kind of screwed. Like you can't do anything. So sadly, we're gonna just watch this too, because a lot of people say like they seem to miss actives a lot more often when the boss is not shrunk. But as you can see, survivability isn't really an issue here. Survivability is just perfectly fine, even without the shrink on our style of team. So the only thing I can think is, what other support heroes could we potentially use that would work out in our benefit here? Now, in the later rounds, though, we still have to see if the shields are going to hold on the rest of our team, which is why we're watching this entire combat and we're not skipping it. Because as you see, the supports are getting lower, but without that 50% damage incoming debuff. But it doesn't seem to be too big of an issue here. Heartwatcher definitely off the table as one of the options. There is one other support hero I've been considering running, though, which would change up the way we build our team as well. It looks like we're good. It looks like we're not going to run into any issues here. So, yeah, Heartwatcher's a big no. We're missing a couple actives here, but that's just part of RNG as well. Round 14, we get an active, which is going to be some good damage here. We do get another active on the Ignis, right? Yep, there we go. So last round, we get one more big attack from our Aspen. And I imagine this brings him down into the 60% or lower range, even without having that extra 30% damage. Oh, man, that was a really, really bad run there. 94. So we only did 94 trillion on that one. But that's to be expected, too, because we were and we still are above 60%. Yeah, that's rough. So, number 1, Heartwatcher getting knocked off the list of potential things. It is the last day, which is why I'm like, I feel comfortable. We're not going to lose too much here. But who's another support in this game that actually does a lot? Well, there's always Drake. Drake is another potential that we could put on this list. So we're going to run him again just to see if, number 1, he can survive, because that's probably one of the most important parts here. Yeah, I mean, just making sure he stays alive is the important part here. Don't have the best stones for him per se, but he is going to be V3 plus, maybe even V4, since we can throw him in Star Expedition. But what that means is we're going to change a couple things over here. So right here, we're running crit attack, all red. We need to change this because currently we're running an armor break in here. And instead of armor break, we can either run, probably precision would be the best. So we're running crit damage, and precision. That puts us at pretty much the precision cap for attack bonuses. I think that'll be pretty good. And we're going to be at the crit cap with our Scarlet Queen Halora, or rather the crit damage cap. Our crit chance is still not 100%, but I think this is going to be good. So let's try this change up, see what happens. Now, I don't know with the Drake, since we have Drake in advance here. Does he actually become V4 in the boss battle? I don't really know. And again, we're not really going for damage numbers today because it's still above 60%. No, so I guess if you have a hero... so that's why a lot of people do their lineup manually, because that way they don't have to change all their stellar shards around on their team. He should be fine in this current state though, I imagine. So let's see how this works out. We are using the snake, not the wolf, so we don't have to worry about wasted armor break and everything, but this could potentially be a thing. But again, we have to make sure he can stay alive. If he can't stay alive, well then he's of no use to us. And I don't know if he can. Elyvia is just so good at surviving early on. It looks like we just got tons of shielding. So Drake is a potential useful hero here. If your team can survive, you don't need the Elyvia. But again, a lot of the teams out there really do need an Elyvia. But at least this will be a good test in comparison. What we might be able to do is run oh, he went down. Yeah, that's the surprise. You have to have Elyvia then. He does eventually die, and if he dies off, well, then it's kind of useless having that armor break because, well, what's the point? We can skip this because we know we're going to live. That did do more damage, but again, we might have actually dropped under 60. Nope, we're still in the 62 range, so I think that pretty much solidifies the answer. And a lot of people are like, yeah, Barry, that's not going to work. I'm like, I know. But let me test it. Just let me test it. I've got to see for myself if it's something that is possible or if it is a waste of time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this precision back over to armor break, and we'll do the last hit. That way you guys can see like the comparison between the three and the damages. So we'll go in here. We'll get one last hit done. We now have that Elyvia back. And yeah, the Elyvia shouldn't cause any problems. So we're just going to skip through the battle, see what the damage number looks like. About the same as with the Drake dying early. That's interesting. That's actually really, really interesting. But yeah, the fact that Drake dies is a big bad for us. So yeah, we barely did any damage the last day. We didn't even get him down to 60% for other Lord of Fear Aspen hits. But yeah, is what it is. Stick with the Elyvia. Trust me, don't go with another option. It's just not going to work. It's the tried and true method. Stick to the team. Don't deviate. Let other people figure that out for themselves. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.